Finally, man, finally, people are suing the government over the age verification laws. So, Texas is being sued not once, but twice for mandating age verification in the App Store on Apple. So, the first one was discussed 2 days ago on the 16th from the Computer and Communications Industry Association, where they asked a federal judge to block a Texas law that requires mobile app stores, particularly those run by Apple and Google, to verify users' ages. I was actually reading through some of the points that the CCIA made, and yeah, they made some really good points. So basically, Texas, the second biggest state in the United States, made a law called the App Store Accountability Act. This was signed into law in August, where it requires app stores to verify the age of all users and obtain parental approval for every app downloaded by users under 18. Yes, that is correct. You can't download an app on the App Store if you're under 18 without mommy and daddy's permission now. The law, known as SB 2420, is set to go into effect in January 1st, 2026. Before I go and read the rest of this, just remember, as I say in every video, don't think that just because you're in Texas, this won't affect you. Remember that this all started in the UK and it's now spreading across the world. If Texas makes these types of laws, maybe other states in the United States will follow, maybe other countries in the world will follow. So we got to nip this type of stuff in the bud before it gets crazy. But anyways, the CCIA warned in a lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Texas that the law imposes a, quote, broad censorship regime on the entire universe of mobile apps. So this is very true. How the hell can you guys mandate age verification on every single app in the App Store, on every single app on Google? Are you guys serious? This would make way more sense if it was like an adult app. I don't know, some sort of, adult video app or something. I don't even know if those exist on Apple. But obviously, if they wanted to mandate, parental permission or age verification or whatever on those apps, that would make sense. But any app on the App Store? That is crazy. They said none of our laws require businesses to card people before they can enter bookstores and shopping malls, according to the lawsuit filed by the law firms. The CCIA, which counts Apple and Google among its members, argued that the First Amendment, quote, prohibits such oppressive laws as much in cyberspace as it does in the physical world. Exactly. Stephanie Joyce, which is the director of litigation at the CCIA, said online protections for younger internet users should not come at the expense of free expression and personal privacy. Exactly. In addition to the constitutional problems, this App Store bill places burdens on app stores, developers, minors, and parents that are completely disproportionate to any harm policymakers were attempting to remedy. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to be a huge toll on Apple and Google to develop all these age verification methods, especially if it's for every single app on their service. The spokespeople for Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, whose office will defend the law, did not immediately respond to a request for comment. So SB 2420 is one of the several recently passed by states to protect kids from being exposed to harmful online content. California Governor Gavin Newsom signed legislation earlier this week requiring device makers like Apple and Google to check users' ages. The California law is narrower in scope than Texas and earned support from big tech firms like Google, Meta, OpenAI, and Snap. I don't know if this article mentions it later, but they should have mentioned it right here. The California law actually does not mandate personal information. They are not asking for an ID or any type of personal information like that. So the California law is way better than the one that is proposed in Texas. Yeah, by the way, we're going to need age verification if you want to download any single app in the App Store for Google and Apple. I mean, where are we right now? Thursday's lawsuit is the last salvo in the escalating legal fight over state laws requiring platforms to verify users' ages or create new safeguards for kids. Judges have blocked new laws requiring age verification for social media accounts in several states, including Georgia, Utah, and Louisiana. That is something that I've noticed. A lot of states are going crazy with the age verification laws. Like these three states over here, they're trying to mandate some crazy stuff in those states. Earlier this year, the U.S. Supreme Court upheld a separate Texas law requiring websites to block minors from accessing adult videos. Now, again, I still disagree with this law because it does create a slippery slope and it doesn't allow parents to do their job, which is, parenting their kids. But at least this is better than just restricting every single app in the App Store. I mean, that makes no sense. In a post published last week, Apple said that the Texas law would hurt users' privacy by requiring the collection of, quote, sensitive, personally identifiable information to download any app, even if a user simply wants to check the weather or sports score. Google raised user privacy and trust concerns with Texas age verification law, along with similar laws recently passed in Utah and Louisiana. I definitely agree with Apple's points. They actually seem to be a lot more apprehensive about implementing these laws than Google does. So good on Apple for trying to defend their users from having their data stolen or possibly compromised. But that was just one of the lawsuits. There is now another lawsuit against Texas that was talked about yesterday. And this is actually just going to be from a student group. So a Texas student group and 2 high schoolers are suing to block a new state law that would require everyone, adults and minors alike, to verify their age before downloading or making in-app purchases. The lawsuit filed Thursday in federal court by students engaged in Advancing Texas, known as SEAT, Two minors argue the App Store Accountability Act violates the First Amendment by restricting access to protected speech. So the two minors that I assume live in Texas, they are going to be the ones that are directly affected by this law. So I can see why they wanted to take matters into their own hands and actually just access whatever apps they want to access without the government trying to play mommy or daddy. The act imposes content-based prior restraints on speech that replace parents' freedom to moderate their children's access to sources for learning, communication, and creativity. The lawsuit reads, this is basically a fancy way of saying, can we just let freaking parents do their job and parent their kids instead of trying to control what everybody does? A similar lawsuit against the law was filed earlier in the day by the CCIA, which is the one we just went over. Passed with near unanimous support during this year's legislative session, the law would require adults to verify their age before downloading any app. Minors couldn't download apps or make in-app purchases without parental approval, and parents would have to prove their identity and give consent each time. The law is set to take effect in January 2026. So two things, right? One, it really annoys me that they say that it was near unanimous support during this year's legislative session. These lawmakers are just trying to collect information. They don't give a crap about kids' safety. Near unanimous support? Are you guys serious? You guys don't see anything wrong with the idea of mandating age verification from kids and then actually forcing their parents to basically say yes or no to every single little thing that they do? It's just crazy. And then also the fact that they say that the parents would have to prove their identity and give consent each time. So literally every single time a minor wants to download an app from the App Store in Texas, their parents have to say yes or no every single time. I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, I didn't get my first iPhone until I was like 15, I believe. But you know, when I was on the App Store, when I was 15, I was downloading stupid ass apps like, you know, joke apps or trivia crack and all that type of stuff. Imagine with like, you know, the hundreds of apps that I downloaded, I would need my parents' permission every single time. I mean, that is just crazy to me. Attorneys argue the law would have far-reaching effects, extending beyond social media to educational, news, and creative apps like Wikipedia, Duolingo, Audible, Spotify, ESPN, the New York Times, even games like Minecraft. The student plaintiffs, including a high school journalist and a debater, argue it would directly limit their ability to learn, communicate, and express themselves. Yeah, I mean, it would. I mean, like they're saying, I mean, a lot of these apps, a lot of kids just download just because they want to learn something or listen to music or keep up with sports. And now they have to ask their parents for permission. I mean, it's crazy. The lawsuit also points to parental concerns. According to the lawsuit, Vanessa Fernandez, a mother of one plaintiff, believes her son deserves and benefits from having a certain amount of privacy and autonomy, including over his digital activities. The act would require her to intrude on his privacy and autonomy to a degree she would not otherwise, effectively overriding her parental decision-making. Apparently, General Ken Paxton's office still declined to comment even for this new lawsuit. The lawsuit lands amid a broader push in Texas to regulate tech platforms and minors' access to them. HB 186, a separate proposal that stalled earlier this year, would have banned anyone under 18 from using or creating social media accounts in Texas. So nobody under 18 would be able to have social media if that law passes. Lawmakers also passed the SCOPE Act in 2023 to give parents more control over their children's online activity, though parts of the law were later blocked by a federal judge on constitutional grounds. A Florida law banned children under 14 from social media and required parental consent for 14 and 15-year-olds was passed last year. Arkansas, Utah, and Oklahoma have also passed or proposed restrictions on minors' access to online platforms. So yeah, Texas is being sued by two different groups, and they are actually going to be sued for the same thing, which is the fact that the age verification thing is violating the First Amendment, and they are just trying to collect everybody's data. We know what's going on here, guys. We know this is not about protecting the kids. So if you watched the video up until this point, do me a favor, type in the comments that age verification is doo-doo. Just type that in for me, just so I know who's watching till the end of the video and who isn't. But anyways, obviously I agree with these lawsuits. I feel like they're doing a great job in actually holding the government accountable. It seems like the Texas government in specific is getting sued right now, but hopefully the other states do as well. Hopefully they can just get some sort of pushback like, hey, we don't approve of the idea of you guys trying to play our parents and trying to moderate every single thing that people do on the internet, because it is a slippery slope. It started off with, you know, age verification for kids in the UK, and now all of a sudden it's in America, and now all of a sudden you need your parents' permission to download apps off the App Store. I mean, it is just crazy. People who are my age, you guys remember when we had iPhones back in the day, we used to just download stupid apps off the App Store. Nothing malicious, but, you know, just like dumb ones to play jokes on people Or like we would download that one app that sounds like a shaver and we would pretend to shave our friend's hair off, stuff like that. I mean, we were just doing stupid stuff. And now, I feel like kids are going to be robbed of the opportunity to just explore the app store, get stupid little apps. And at the end of the day, your parents should be checking all that type of stuff anyways, especially when you're super young. The government shouldn't be the one getting involved and trying to stop you from doing stuff. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the situation in the comments. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more. See ya.